Need the wireless mic on.
Watamu, good morning. We're about to begin the youth panel, so if we can have people begin taking their seats, finding a comfortable spot so that we can begin. We have a lot of ambitious youth who want to share some knowledge with you all today, and so we're going to have to use our time efficiently to make sure that that happens in a timely manner. So if I could have everybody take a seat and get comfortable so that we can begin. My name is Tony Dormy, and I'm from the Pueblo of Tesuque. I currently teach community-based agriculture and community-based biology at the Santa Fe Indian School. And I've had the opportunity to be involved with the sustainability conference here since its inception 8 years ago. And I've had the honor of serving as the student youth panel moderator for the last 4 years. And it's been a real honor and a blessing to get to know these youth and to see how really passionately they take agriculture. And I, as an instructor, sometimes feel that I learn a lot more from my students than I'm teaching them, and so it's a two-way street in my class, and I think my students know that. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to the Santa Fe Indian School community-based agri-science program, and they're going to give you an overview of our program, and then they're going to talk kind of from the heart about how they're involved with agriculture in their respective communities. So I hope you enjoy the presentation, and please give these youth and all the youth here today that will be presenting your undivided attention. Thank you.
Hello, good morning. My name is Isaac Vigil. I'm a senior. I'm from Okeawinga.
Hello, I'm Dominic Bailon from San Domingo, and I'm a senior.
Hello, I'm Jordan Mays. I'm from Okeawinga, and I'm a sophomore. And this is the Santa Fe Indian School Agricultural Program.
I'm having a little technical difficulties here. Lorraine, are you in the room? Okay, sorry about that. Okay, guys, take it away.
So we're from the Santa Fe Indian School, and this is our CB community-based education program and agri-science program. So we go out to communities around Santa Fe, helping them, and in return, they teach us what they know of agriculture.
Behind us, you can see our greenhouse. Last year, they gave us an orchard, the Dryer's fruit bar. Huh? Huh. Shut up. Our greenhouse, the dimensions of our greenhouse are 5 feet by 30 feet, 50 feet by 30 feet by 15. The greenhouse has an electrical system that is powered by two 5.7 kilowatt PVC panels, but we also have a portable generator. We germinate non-GMO seeds in our greenhouse, then transplant them into slightly larger trays or plant growth.
Should we go to Okay. Well, in our greenhouse, we plant non-GMO seeds, and we don't use herbicides, pesticides, or what else besides? And just chemicals for the plants. What else? We annually have a plant sale, and what else?
So the seeds we use is non-GMO, and we practice this through seed saving. So we bring seeds to the class from our own crop the year before and plant them in there to return to the communities. And through that, we host the annual plant sale, so people around the Santa Fe area can buy our crops. And we germinate these seeds in the greenhouse through these trays and transplant them into larger containers.
Like I said, our plant sale, we hold it every year, and it helps to fund our program, and it goes back into the greenhouse. If we need to buy soil or any other things, that's what the money goes to, and it also goes to helping out the program and funding the field trips and stuff like that.
So this is our graph for the greenhouse, and the CO2 avoided is what we avoid, what we don't use. If we were to burn coal and generate the greenhouse, we would have 22,415 pounds of CO2 that we would produce a year, and the energy that the solar panels they generate is 14,524 kilowatts, and the reimbursement, like how much money it uses, is $1,742, and that's pretty good for our greenhouse, since we don't really use coal, or we don't use coal. We just use 5.7 kilowatt PV panels.
Last year, we entered a competition where you voted online, and we were actually able to win an orchard from the Dryers Fruit Bar Company. It was planted, and it's doing really well now. How many? 40 trees. We have 40 fruit trees, cherry, pear, and apple, and they're all from Las Cruces, so they're native to this area.
Over there at SFIS, we have a farmer's market every Friday. The farmer's market it is also a funding source for our program, and it gives the farmers a chance to sell their produce.
Here you see a Nambe Pueblo man, and he's selling his roasted corn. We have many participants of the farmers market from different communities, some from San Domingo, Tisuki, Nambe, and other pueblos. Through that, they get some money for their fields, and it's on Fridays. We have it every Friday from 2:30 to 5. Yeah.
In the CBE program, our involvement, or my involvement, is just going on field trips and learning more knowledge about people's farmings. And in my community, I help the youth farm and like teach them what they need to know. And I'm also a farmer myself with my family members. We grow alfalfa, like vegetables. We have an orchard also, and our family is also a ranch basically. We have horses. We train horses. We have cows. We use them for beef, and I also hunt with my family to put food on the table, basically.
And so we're all active farmers and ranchers, and I'm from San Domingo, and through our village, for Pueblo, we're very active farmers, and so my family comes from a farming family, and I have vegetables, alfalfa, fruits, and cover crop. Some of our fruits like cherry, nectarine, apples, pears, we have those on our fields. And it's not a really big field, it's maybe 5 acres, 10 acres. And we grow chili, corn, peas, beans from our generations before, the seeds. And I have a few cows and a few horses to take care of, and our alfalfa is our main source for their food. And I am a hunter, so every fall, I usually go hunting for meat, deer meat, and that's for throughout the winter, our food, and also the crops too.
Hi, my name's Isaac Vigil, for those of you that didn't hear my name in the beginning. I am a farmer. I grew up in Okewinga. Just early on, I just remember, agriculture's always been a big part of our lives as Pueblos and the surrounding areas. I'm sure the Hispanics and every other culture has their ways like that. But from the beginning, it's always been like, I remember being small, playing in the cornfields. But from the time I was 8, I had already begun to farm by myself. I grew small gardens, and then eventually I worked up to where I am now, where I plant a 2-acre plot of alfalfa, different vegetables, and I also practice cover cropping. And I farm by myself. Not a lot of people in my village do farm, and I think that's a big problem. I am one of the youngest farmers in my village, but it should not be that way.
And also, I know that us three, we do not use GMO seeds. We use seeds that have been passed down from generation to generation. And I am also one of the young farmers in Okewinge, and I think that is a big problem, because what if, you never know what's in the future, and we need to teach our kids how to do that. My brother is 7, and he already knows how to do everything from cutting hay, from baling it, to feeding the horses, riding horses. So I'm glad that I accomplished teaching my brother how to do that. And I'm proud that my brother is growing up to be a farmer and a rancher.
But like she said, it shouldn't be that way. I mean, we need to teach the younger ones that it is important, that seed saving is important, everything. As Pueblo people, agriculture is interwoven into our culture. If we lose agriculture, then it's going to be a big loss to our culture as Pueblo people. But from an early age, I did see the importance of that, and now I do try to teach the younger ones in my community so that way they do carry on the tradition. Because, again, in my village, farming is seen more as a tradition than anything else, and we need to preserve that. Thank you.
And it is a part of our culture. So, we sing about it. We dance for it. We dance for rain, for the crops to grow, to produce. It's not about the quality. It's about the quality, not the quantity of it, and how it is. And organic is the big thing for us. No GMOs, no chemicals, no pesticides. And I see some farmers on my pueblo using pesticides, and I tell them not to use it because it's right next door to my field. Sometimes I might go into my field. And we are along the Rio Grande, so what could happen downstream? Yeah, what shall we?
Huh? Okay. What do I say? That's it? Oh. Thank you very much for listening. Is there any questions for us? No? Thank you.
So how do you see you sharing your knowledge and your experience with your peers? Do you feel like your friends are growing and learning along? Is it a cool thing to do to farm, or do you feel like you're a little different from the people that are around you?
I'll start.
Well, I mean, a lot of us in the pueblos, we do farm, or our uncles or our grandfathers. But you can sometimes at the school, you can just be talking to somebody and then that comes up and you end up learning from each other. Again, no one's a perfect farmer. We all learn knowledge and we give knowledge in hopes that it's a successful harvest.
I'm actually proud to be a farmer because, like, it's fun. And people ask me at school, how do you do this? How do you do that? Sometimes I do know, sometimes I don't. But some of it's on farming and some of it's with horses and ranching. They ask me, like, my nickname over there most of the time is the cowgirl. But, like, I tell them, I'm not Clinton Anderson. I don't know a lot. I'm learning, and I wish to learn more. But farming is a big part of my life, and I like to teach my peers and the younger kids to farm.
I just wanted, you answered my question, that if you apprentice others, young people.
So to continue on that question, so my friends most of them are farmers, and I hang out with farmers, yeah. And yeah. We teach each other what to do, how to do certain stuff around the farm. And I tell people that sometimes what they're doing is a little different, what they should be doing, and they do appreciate it. We do appreciate it. Is there any other questions?
What's cover cropping?
Yeah, you take it. So it's like, I guess.
Cover cropping is basically, it's almost like, have you heard of green mulching? Never, okay.
How about, for the sake of time, that we field this question after the presentation, because it's a bit of a discussion.
Yeah, it is.
Thank you guys for your work. You're very inspirational. Seeing 3 young native farmers working to carry on their traditional ways. We're seeing a lot of things happen in our communities where our young people are really detached from our traditional ways of life and are really engaged in things like video games and things that have come with modern society. How would you recommend that we engage young people in our native communities? What would be effective in getting more young farmers involved?
Well, I just recommend, starting programs with the schools. I mean, even if through their language program, you start a garden at the school. Because, again, too, it's not just cultural, but it's also health, too. If kids grow vegetables, they're going to eat vegetables. Anything. You plant corn, they're going to eat corn. But in a way, you have to show them that it's fun. And that also it's a big part of the tradition. Because they may enjoy dancing in the pueblos. That is a direct link to farming. And if you can make that connection with them, they'll always farm. And then in turn, as they get older, they'll teach the younger ones.
Well, another thing is that you have to start them at an early age. We took my brother out when he was 2 out to the fields, and he started digging with worms and, just catching bugs and stuff. And he likes to rip off chili off the plants. But if you have to make it fun. Me and my grandpa, we make it a game for him. So we say like, whoever gets a bushel of chili first, like wins $1 or something. So, yeah. So you have to have it, make it fun for them to like it.
What I always enjoyed was irrigating with my father. This is always fun to watch the water go down to the field, end of the field, closing it, opening the waterways, just watching the water. That was the funnest part, because you can go in the mud, in the water, play with the mud. It's like, and it smells good. That's the part I like.
Thank you guys very, very much.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay, good job. Thank you, everybody.
As you can see, I'm a very, very privileged individual to be working with such bright young Pueblo students, and it makes me feel secure about our future as farmers in the Pueblos. I'd like now to call up Camino de Paz so that they can do their wonderful presentation.
Can you hear me? Okay. Just a couple seconds to tell about our school. We have a program in a few parts. Okay. So we have a middle school where we have a farm. We raise goats and take them to pasture. We farm with draft horses. The students learn how to get behind them as teamsters. We have a goat dairy, and we try as much as possible to get our goats to pasture. These are students working in the dairy and some of our products. We grow things to eat. You can see our corn, our vegetables, and we sell at farmers market. We also feed our local community and our school community through our lunch program. And we have crews that take care of various things. We make goat milk soap with outdated soap. These boys are planning a food preservation project. We raise chickens using chicken tractors and taking them through the field, and we have greenhouses where we do our starts. So I just wanted to give you a brief introduction. Now our students have something for you. We're going to do a cartoon, a poem, and then a sing-along. So we're hoping that you all have voices that you're wanting to use this morning. Okay, let's see. Okay, why can't we close this? You know what, Maya, let's just go with this. Okay, got your script?
Once upon a time, there was an adventurous corn boy who wanted to see the world. He went out from his lovely farm and walked until he came to another cornfield. What he saw there was very disturbing. He asked, "What happened to you?" "We have been genetically modified," they said. "We are zombie corn." The brave corn boy ran back to his carrot friend, but he had been modified too. He decided he needed to go to the city to find out what was happening and to tell everyone about it. Food was being shipped thousands of miles using fossil fuels, and pesticides were everywhere. The more he learned, the more worried he became. Worst of all, most humans didn't know how bad the situation was. He told the first person who came along. He told him everything that he had learned. Most products you eat every day are genetically modified. Corn, potatoes, wheat, soybeans, sugar beets, rice, even salmon. Other countries have banned these foods. Worst of all, you don't know that you are eating these foods. "Oh no," said the human boy, "what can we do?" "Tell all your friends. Then buy organic food, grow your own garden, go to local farmers markets and co-ops, and call for food labeling." "Thanks for the warning," said the human boy. "This is really important. I'm going to tell all my friends, post it on Facebook, and tell my mom how important this is. I might even start a garden at school." This is mine.
Obsessed. Organic's enemy.
And never should have been made.
No testing.
No care for the animals.
No GMOs would be better.
Never eat GMO.
Never cared.
Non-stop. No studies.
S. Sad excuse for humanity.
Scary people.
Sad dying in the heart.
Satan is this guy's kid.
Some destruction.
Swims in money.
Stop the madness. Scary business.
A. Always screwing up.
Animal abuse.
Altering their nature.
After all, who could be that evil?
Awful.
Answers with "it's okay."
Anti-nature. Awful.
N. No studies.
Not caring.
Needs us.
No one should have to eat this stuff.
Never caring.
Never stops.
Nature's enemy. Needs to be changed.
these guys?
Offended farmers.
Ongoing feuds.
Other ways are in our future. Offensive to the life force. We still have time to change this dilemma. We have choices. Creative solutions.
Cleaning up our mess.
Completely GMO free.
Cancel GMO food.
And do what we want.
A chance for a change. Come on!
Age. Happy.
Honor our Mother Earth.
Hybrid and GMO is not the answer.
Hope for all.
Honor non-GMO farmers.
Hope.
Having another way. Hope is here.
Oh, on the right path.
Only heirloom seeds.
Overcoming the war.
Organic crops.
Organic farming.
Options.
Other choices. Own our mistakes.
I, innocent people.
Insect friendly.
Innovative ideas.
Insecticide free.
Indigenous crops.
Indecision.
Ingredients with love. Invent new practices.
See, caring.
Children best without GMOs.
Carelessness is not the answer.
Contemplate the ingredients.
Cornfield.
KLSI.
Containing life. Cooperation.
E, earning back your health.
Everyone boycott GMO foods.
Everlasting care over what we eat.
Everlasting food is not good.
Eat organic.
Explore.
Eco-friendly. End government corruption.
S, starting over.
Safety and health.
Something has to change.
Save our kids.
Start seeding.
Should I?
Sustenance. Start now!
And this is the part where you join in. Okay, so I would like to encourage everybody to sing. This is a song everybody should know. You know, Mary Had a Little Lamb. Everybody knows that, right? Raise your hand if you know it. Good, good. So you know it, you should sing. So 1, 2, 3. Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb. Mary had a little lamb on which she grew her food. Some pollen came to her field one day, field one day, field one day. Some pollen came to her field one day, and then Monsanto sued. Mary boycotted GMOs, GMOs, GMOs. Mary boycotted GMOs, and all the
Any questions for this talented group of students? We have. Can you hear me now? For the sake of time, we will be having a youth roundtable this afternoon, which will provide everybody with a chance to engage with these students further. So I would like to move on now to our next group, which is the master's group at the Santa Fe Community College.
We have a charter school at the Santa Fe Community College, and most of us are students from the city. You know, we don't have a lot of roots in farming in our direct ancestry, and so we have a class that meets once a week, and we're talking about food from a political point of view, from an economic point of view, from a cultural point of view, and trying to develop a relationship with that. And so these students are speaking about different things that they're interested in, different ways that they've approached food, and I'll turn it over to them.
I guess I'll just sit down. Hi, I'm Jacob. I'm from the Santa Fe Community College, you know, the master's program. It's a small charter school, like Sky said. And what we're learning in this, oh no, I'm not doing the, okay. Well, what we have been learning in this food group, we meet every Friday. We've been learning about genetically modified foods and how it has its nutritional differences and how it affects us and how it's been affecting, a lot of people, a lot of farmers. Like Vandana Shiva said, like in India, how many organic farmers have been committing suicide because they do not have enough to produce. Just hold it like this. Okay. Producing enough and not selling enough to get enough money to keep on producing. And well, what I was going to talk about was about the nutritional differences between conventional foods and organic foods. And for example, one example was that we read this article that showed that a 2-year study by John Reginald in Washington State was studying strawberries, the differences between the nutritional differences in strawberries, and it showed that organic strawberries had more antioxidant activity, and the blueberries had higher fructose and glucose levels, and those were the organic. So as you can see, this shows that the organic foods are way much more healthier than the conventional foods, because it also shows that that the organic foods contained an average of 25 higher concentration of 11 vitamins in each food, in each organic food. And we were also reading this book called Seeds of Deception that showed us on the first chapter about Putsai. And he was doing a research on GM potatoes that were supposed to produce its own pesticides so it could keep away the pests. And so to test out if these GMOs were safe, he did a test on rats to see what it would do, what the effects would be. And a few days later, it showed that in the rats, their white blood cells were really sluggish, they weren't reacting as fast, and also that their immune systems were damaged, which let them more vulnerable, or leave them more vulnerable to more diseases and sicknesses. And if we keep on eating GMO foods ourselves, he predicted that the same could happen to us. We could end up with a lot of sicknesses and a lot of diseases. And also in Scientific Community College, we actually have this small garden right next to a gymnasium, and we are growing a lot of, the Three Sisters, which is pumpkin, corn, and beans. We're growing those, and tomatoes, and a lot of other crops. They're all organic. And I think it's really interesting that, that we're learning about this, the GMOs and all the organic foods, I think it's a real privilege to be here. I want to thank everyone for letting us be here and letting us talk. And we should all try converting to organic farming because so we could prevent causing damage to ourselves and save, I guess, conserve our health. So, yeah.
Hi, my name is Devin. I'm a junior at TMP, and I just want to say thank you to Espanola for welcoming us onto your beautiful campus. Well, let's see. I began high school about 2 years ago, and from before that point, I was pretty sheltered. I had the privilege to be raised by an amazing woman who, she made my own baby food, but I had the privilege to be made by a woman who, anyway, she taught me that what we put in our bodies and how we nourish ourselves is really important and can affect us in life. And when I started high school, I went to because the Santa Fe Community College doesn't open itself up to freshmen, so I went to the big high school. And I was pretty culture shocked, not by the people, but by what they ate. I thought until that point that everyone ate like I did. Like, oh, here you go, honey, here's your sweet potatoes and spaghetti squash and, salmon and green beans. I'm like, oh yeah, Mom. Anyway, but these people were eating like pounds of French fries with cheese, and I mean, we all love that, but I was just so surprised, and at the amount of sodas and candy bars, and lunch for them is, I don't know, like huge. It surprised me, and I think this just really shows how much of a cultural rift we have between our children, our people, and our food. I mean, it should basically be what it was before. It should be a relationship between us and the land and the earth. It shouldn't be a relationship between us, the land, and Monsanto, and the factories. And, these like cows held up in pens, and these chickens dying, and their legs breaking because they can't support their own weight. And just, it should be between us. We should bring it down to earth again. It should be between the people. It should be between like all the students that came before us. I mean, in Santa Fe, we don't have the opportunities to really work with the land like they do, and it's pretty sad because the closest we can get is Sprouts or the farmer's market. And I think we should really just revert back to that. And I think the only way we can do that is really by trying to reconnect our youth to the food again. Because it's not of any fault of their own, but it's the fault of the large corporations and the television and just that disconnect, and I think we should connect back, and I think that the only way to do that is through like all the preteens and all the kids in high school. I think we just need to learn about it more, and I think that's just the key to going back to where we're supposed to be. And yeah, thank you, everyone.
Thank you. All right, so my name's Dylan Bowman. I'm from Master's Program, Junior. And pretty much what I did my presentation on is organic food in grocery stores in Santa Fe, and more specifically New Mexico in general, I suppose. Next slide. Thank you. So, what I looked at primarily were some of the issues that were presented when organic food was sold in grocery stores, and the main one was the cost to buy and sell organic food, which kind of discouraged a lot of stores in the beginning to really have organic food and have that choice to be organic or not. And when it costs more to buy and to sell organic food, it really limits you, and it just makes it less of a diversity when it comes to your food choices. And also another problem that presented itself was the shelf life, which is, I think, a pretty common knowledge that organic food, while might have better quality, have a shorter shelf life. I mean, I can't remember what it was. I think it was the Flavor Saver tomato. It had 90 days worth of shelf life before it spoiled. That's insane. I mean, 90 days. If you go to Trader Joe's that we have in Santa Fe, a tomato there, give it about 10. I mean, having that, it costs a lot more to replenish your stocks when, they go bad that much faster. So, along with that, and the availability, surprisingly, I mean, there's, like it says, 5 out of 8 stores say, there's a lack of choice when it comes to actually buying organic foods. And all this presentation is based off of is a survey that was actually taken in New Mexico. 500 different grocery stores took this survey, and this is the results of that if you're wondering where I got my source. And next slide. Here's one of the graphs or charts that I pulled from said survey results, I suppose. And just a quick overview is that majority of grocers actually believe that organic food will be a larger part of the food industry in the future, and it has become, because this is, I think, 5-10-year-old study, and as we've seen, it has grown immensely. The organic food has become a small little thimble in the business of food industry to the huge juggernaut that it is today. And some people are really proud of that, and I support them for that. And surprisingly, a good amount, even though they don't intend to sell organic food, actually do get their food from local producers. I mean, it might be industrialized food, producers that are in Santa Fe or New Mexico, but they still try to get it locally, and which really surprised me. And last little tidbit I want to touch upon is that media, a lot believe, both organic and non-organic, believe that the media has kind of exaggerated the threat of pesticides and herbicides to a somewhat unnecessary degree. I mean, they do pose a problem, but I guess not the significance that some have. And yeah, a lot of words. It is a lot of words, a lot of information. And yeah.
Thank you very much.
Hello, I'm Cyrus Campbell, and I'm a sophomore at TMP. And one thing that Dylan mentioned was how organic food might cost more than traditional food. And just wanted to point out that I find it strange that we would even begin to consider sacrificing our health for something as artificial as money. And one thing that we wanted to analyze was the differences in organic agriculture and industrial agriculture and how they impact the environment.
Hi, everyone. I'm Anson Schwegman, and I'm a senior at the master's program, which is centered in the Community College of Santa Fe, or Santa Fe Community College. And I'm going to talk with Cyrus a little bit about biodiversity. So what exactly is biodiversity? Well, it's something that we've already touched on a little bit today in presentations before us. But the idea of biodiversity is to farm with multiple crops at once in the same field so that they sort of assist each other or rotating crops out in a sense. There's crop rotation, which is a method of biodiversity, and a farmer can rotate their crops at a certain time of year, but not year-round necessarily. It's done in a way to benefit them, and there's a very precise science to it depending on what you're trying to accomplish. And there's crop intermingling, which is another method of biodiversity that allows multiple crops to grow on the same plots of land. And this is a really good system to use when you're farming, and especially in an organic sense, because the plants assist each other, help each other grow, and you're getting different sources of vitamins and different nutrients from different plants that you're growing. And I think that touches on what it is. And one of the problems that we're seeing with genetic engineering of food is that we get these monoculture sort of farm plots where there's a plot of land and only one crop is grown on it. And that has, while in a sense may seem efficient, it's proven to not be a very good thing or as good as it sounds. So I'm going to pass this to Cyrus, who's going to offer some solutions that could be applied to this issue.
I think most of us here would agree that we favor traditional agriculture over industrial. And I think that industrial farming should recognize biodiversity and potentially apply it to their farming methods to shrink the gap between organic farming and industrial farming to try and bring that back to a more normal thing. That's all we got.
So I guess now we're just willing to answer any questions that you may have.
We're
like,
actually going to wait on question and answer.
Or not, or
For
not.
the sake of time. We have one more group who needs to present, and I know that everybody's starting to get hungry. So again, we will have the youth roundtable this afternoon where we will be able to engage further with our youth in our discussions. So thank you very much to the Santa Fe Community College Master's Program.
And now please welcome to the stage for the very first time some 4th through 7th grade students from La Tierra Montessori School. Just stand over here. Stand over there. We'll call you up, and you're going to go on the stage first.
I'm good. I don't need a stool.
Like nobody here.
Microphone? Okay. Yeah, the mic. Okay. Microphone. Stand up straight. Oh, okay. Hey, I'm Malaya Pishun, and I'm 7th. I'm in 7th grade. I go to La Tierra, obviously. Hold on. How do you switch this? Spacebar.
That one's not working.
Oh, okay.
Not hard. Let me do it.
I'm just gonna.
That doesn't always work. All right, let me restart it. Okay, we're going to start all over again.
Yay, start all
I'm
over
going to start from the second slide now. Just start reading.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wait, that's not it.
Okay. Well, La Tierra will provide kindergarten through 8th grade students in Espanola, New Mexico, and the surrounding communities the opportunity to improve educational outcomes and reach their maximum potential through an integrated experiential curriculum designed to serve individual learners, the school community of learners, and the community as a whole. La Tierra will utilize and integrate approaches to the education, including Montessori, the arts, and other proven educational models. Our goal is to foster competent, responsible, healthy, and independent citizens who love learning and respect themselves, other people, and their environment. Okay, I need to switch.
It is sticky. Okay.
One second. Waiting. There it is. Okay.
Let's just do it from here. Since
Yeah,
it
we'll
seems
just.
to be sticky.
Okay. What we offer. She knows. Agricultural science, interpretal service learning, fine arts integration, farm-to-table healthy snack program, culinary arts, nutrition, and school-based wellness center. Now, my classmates will tell you what we've been learning.
Do you need to start?
Yeah. Okay. Becoming sustainable. Sustainable means to keep something going forever. Sustainability refers to our planet Earth and everything on it to have a home. Since our elders were born, people had noticed that we have done some damage to our planet. This includes loss of animals' homes, air and water pollution, climate changes, and many other factors affecting our community today. As you think about a product, ask yourself about the resources to manufacture the item. Are the materials renewable or non-renewable? Renewable sources are those who can naturally regenerate as fast or faster than they will be depleted.
That's your last one?
No.
Okay.
Sustainable learning. The students at La Tierra Montessori School are starting a seed company to help the school become more sustainable. We named the company Super Seeds. This will help us to learn about agribusiness and help us raise money for the school programs. Look for Super Seeds by La Tierra Montessori School next spring. Oh yeah, and I'm Lavina Gray. I'm 11 years old. I'm in the 6th grade, and I go to La Tierra.
Right, you're next. Off the slide and introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Justino Boyer. I'm a 7th grader at La Tierra Montessori School, and I've been asked to talk to you about living organically. Next slide. Okay, you're probably wondering, what is organic? All right, organic refers to a naturally developing object without the need of chemicals or force, such as homegrown fruits and vegetables. These foods are nutrient-rich and do not contain chemicals whatsoever. They're often processed by natural means, meaning they don't essentially have to be prepared by machinery. So, there are some options you get once you decide to go organic. To start, you can buy organic from your local co-op and local farmers. You can buy and eat meat without antibiotics. That's pretty good for you. And you can buy clothing made from organic products, such as cotton or hemp, which they do sell all over in various places. Or if you don't have as much money, you can grow your own food and have a greenhouse. And it's often very low budget, so that should work out nicely. Thank you.
Yeah, no kidding. My name is Julio Shipman. I live in Velarde, and I'm in 6th grade at La Tierra Montessori School. Effects of global warming. What is global warming? The planet is warming from North Pole to South Pole and everywhere in between. Globally, the mercury is already up more than 1 degree, and even more in sensitive polar regions. Signs are appearing all over. Some of them are surprising. The heat is not only melting glaciers and sea ice, it's also changing weather patterns and forcing animals to leave their homes. Ice is melting worldwide, especially at the Earth's poles. Rain and snowfall has increased across the globe on average. Hurricanes and other storms are likely to become stronger. Sea levels are expected to rise by the end of the century. Species that depend on one another may become out of sync. For example, plants could bloom earlier than their pollinating insects can become active. Floods and droughts will become more common. Less fresh water will be available. Some diseases will spread, such as malaria carried by mosquitoes. Ecosystems will change. Some species will move further north or become more successful. Others won't be able to move and could become extinct.
Okay. I'm Karina Shoemaker. I'm in the 6th grade, and yeah. And I'm gonna talk about reducing our carbon footprint. The term carbon footprint is how much carbon goes into the air because of something done by people, but not by nature. Doing something that burns fuel will make carbon dioxide gas in the smoke. Carbon dioxide has carbon in it. Just like walking on the sand leaves a footprint, burning fuel leaves carbon dioxide in the air, which is called a carbon footprint. How can we reduce our carbon footprint? Supporting renewable energy resources, such as, well, seeds are renewable. We grow seeds, seeds grow food, and food gives us energy. We can use cars less. The less we drive and use cars, the better, because cars put out gases into our ecosystem, I think. Yeah, and it breaks down our ozone layer, and we need that to live. So, yeah. We can buy locally grown food. Buying locally grown food can keep us healthy, and it doesn't have all these fake things that people put in pre-packaged food. So we can also turn off the lights in our home and at work. It saves energy, so that it saves energy. We can recycle old electronics. People in China are taking apart our old electronics looking for lead, and they get paid a penny per hour. And it's just sad because they're polluting the water and the air, so it makes people really, really sick. And another thing we can do is carpool. Carpooling helps us use cars less. So the more we carpool, the less we have to drive and push out gases everywhere. We can stop smoking. Smoking also puts out gas everywhere. Smoke's really bad for our lungs, and it causes a lot of people death and stuff. So we can also walk to local restaurants. Walking to local restaurants is way better than just driving there. We get exercise, and we can not drive, not pollute, and we can not use fossil fuels. So yeah.
Before the last group comes up, we'd like to ask Clayton Thomas Mueller to join us on stage with his drum. Okay, now you two. Hold on.
You two.
Stand here and you stand here. Okay? Come on. Now remember, he's going first. Together.
We can make a difference. Reduce, reuse, recycle, solar wind energy, carpool, compost, get involved.
We're asking everybody to join in a small Idle No More event. You have a sign under your seat. And
Under your seat.
Or near your seat.
Under.
Hey, look, Jonah has his. I mean, wow. Hey, look. There's signs everywhere.
We are Idle No More.
We are Idle No More.
Just two. Yeah, please.
people.
So now we have a break for lunch. I think a lot of people have already gone down there, so we'll rejoin probably about 15 minutes late because we're that far off schedule. Thank you for staying for our young people.
That's so beautiful. Thank you.
Enjoy your lunch once again.